consuming, and a lot of people aren't even getting their time in court. They're not even like, I mean, my case won't go for years if it goes at all.
No, and then you'll appeal, because if you're up against a big company, they've got infinite resources to just appeal and appeal and appeal. If you think about it, if a company has to pay $1 billion litigation, why not appeal for a year, 2 years? You've got the interest accruing on that $1 billion, haven't you? Well, you don't want to pay that out straight away, even if you agree with the verdict, even if you think that you're going to have to pay it, you might as well just delay it. But a lot of these people are older as well, and won't see any of that compensation, and you know, they've had to go through these problems, and like I say, the legal process is, people think you're just complaining to a lawyer and then you get a check in the post. Well, if you actually see it through to the conclusion and you actually want to have your case heard, it's really, really tough, and it's cutthroat, and you have to come in front of professionals whose job it is to make you look like an idiot in front of other people. So that's really, really stressful for people concerned, and that really should be, there should be some better mechanism of that. I think that's where that's the bit that troubles me, because the companies are able to call on some really quite influential, high-powered doctors and bioengineers.
They can buy.
They can swear on the Bible that there's no problem with these devices, and that's the really.
Well, lately the juries haven't been believing it.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, I've been in cases where a jury has to believe that 20 experts in their chosen field have all sat in a room and coordinated a lie. And I'll tell you, that is not far off actually what happens. So you end up having to, it's kind of ironic, we're next to the JFK museum, but yet you do have to believe that there are these conspiracies. And I don't know what the legal term or what the legal definition for conspiracy is, but I think this does fit it, doesn't it? I think where you have a group of people who are willing to sort of promote a mistruth or whatever, that is actually what happens in these trials. So you're expecting juries to believe that these nice people they see on the stand, doctors, can actively lie to defend a company against the person who's actually, in a lot of the cases, there's a real legitimate complaint and they've been really hurt.
Yeah, when you said that, these are the words like I jotted down as Mark Lanier in the last Pinnacle trial was doing his closing arguments, and there's the word. I couldn't think of it either, but I blame the metal poisoning. But he talks about conspiracy and all the things they did intentionally. And the other thing I think is important to note, and that a lot of us don't realize, is that a lot of our surgeons are paid consultants, and they don't have to disclose to us directly in our appointments, by the way, I'm a J&J consultant, and you should know that when I tell you I'm going to give you 2 Pinnacle Ultimate liners. So we don't even know that our doctors are also salespeople now.
Yeah, it's a bit different. That's a different thing to the UK. So I'm not, healthcare in America is much more of a business. So that is a bit foreign to me. But yeah, you do kind of want to know, I guess, don't you? If someone's selling you something, they're going to potentially make some money off it. That's not ideal. I would like to believe that the surgeons could retain enough impartiality to do genuinely what they believe is right, but in those situations you do question whether it does actually fundamentally alter you belief in what is right. Are you subconsciously erring towards an implant that you get more money off?
My dad was a surgeon, and I thought all surgeons just were surgeons because they wanted to help people. Because that's the way he just loved people. That's why he became a surgeon. But
yeah, you want to help people, but you want money and you want power as well, don't you? Who doesn't? Come on, if you can help people, but also you can make more money, who is going to choose between, in their mind, helping people and making an average amount of money compared to helping people and making more money? You tell me who isn't going to do the second option. So if these systems are in place that allow people to do that, then that's what people will do. It's sort of human nature, isn't it?
And we justify that we're, oh, yes, I'm helping to promote this product, but it's a good product because they gave me the material saying it was a good product. So,
yeah, but also there are the surgeons also have to try and find the time to read the literature. Now, it's interesting if you do examine the editorial boards of certain journals. Are those guys impartial? Because they are the gateway to the information for the surgeons. So are those guys impartial? The other thing is when you look at the advisory boards of different countries and the societies, the orthopedic societies, are those people free of either financial relationships there? I have my own. I am not 100% impartial at all, and I wouldn't want people to think I'm...
What are your disclosures?
So I am a personal case. Well, obviously, first of all, I've had help with litigation, plaintiff litigation in a number of countries. So I've made medical, legal, consulting fees through the years. It's not a small amount of money by any means. And also with our the manufacturing issues with the hip that we talked about, the Pinnacle, we've raised that with the American Justice Department, and were that case to be successful, we would get, in theory, a lot of money from that. The defence to all that, what I would say is that everything we've, given evidence for through the years, this has all been examined in court as well. It was quite obviously, clearly published, developed, presented publicly way before any massive financial incentive.
Why? I mean, it makes sense to me because I would have done it too. I would have gone forward with the case, the Ketom, because I want punitive action against these people. Like, I want to see the companies and the people involved punished. And that's the only way really that could happen, right? I mean... Yeah,
it's just money. I forgot to come around to my original point with the aircrafts. It's in everybody's interest financially to make safer airplanes. You make safer airplanes, more people use it, more people fly, everybody's happy. Nobody dies, everybody's a millionaire. It's not the case with medical devices, because if you declare a problem, not only are you open to litigation, but if you actually think about it, you're not helping your business out. If you make a very long-lasting product at a cheap price, that's bad business. You want either very expensive new products that you either don't get sued for, or nobody finds out about the problems with them, or you want to be able to sell them their new replacements. So you have a problem with your device, you get your reps in there from the same company to sell you from the same product. Look, it's 2 for 1. It's brilliant. You don't want to you do not want to produce a $10 hip that lasts for 50 years. That's real bad business.
Would you make one for me, please? Please make me something healthy.
I mean, there are, but you come back to, there is a market for increased longevity products, so hips, knees, that last for 50 years. That does sound very attractive in theory they will get implanted, they will sell. But that doesn't mean that the vast majority of stuff on the market isn't really, really good. And I wouldn't want anyone to think that they shouldn't go for these things because it's cowboy territory. There are really good products that have been around for a long time that are now very cheap as well, that do really, really well.
Is it the new stuff we need to be wary of?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to, I don't know, I mean, you come back to aircraft again. Would you want to, if you're on a flight, if you're a nervous flyer, do you want to go on something that's been around for 20 years, there's never been a recorded incident, or are you happy getting on the very latest one, or do you want to let everybody else try that out first?
The problem is we didn't know we were trying out something brand new that hadn't really been tested.
That is, and that's the key to it. That is the absolute key. Is my personal feeling is almost like you should have centres with experimental on the front of the building. So you're having an experimental hip. We've done all the tests, we think it'll be amazing. possibility you could have your leg chopped off. But this is the risks that we think. We've looked at it. This is why we believe this is good, this is new. Do you want to go for it? And you know what? A lot of people would actually, because they really do. They really want to try, and they're willing to accept it. And you're actually empowering the patient. You're giving them autonomy to make those personal decisions. And you know that if those go wrong, they're fully prepared for it. It's a completely different mindset. Whereas if you have a hip that you think is going to be great, and you're told it's great, it goes wrong, and then not only does it go wrong, but you find out that they should have told you that it was going to go wrong when it went in you. I mean, that is just a whole world of physical and psychological pain, isn't it? You know, I mean, there's a very different approach. So, but then the argument is, who would sign up for that experimental hip? Well,
Lots of people do. All the cancer patients say, "Give me the new drug. Give me the newest." And I mean,
the problem is with that sort of analogy is that you know, the cancer patients are really in a really hard place, aren't they? You know, so it's a really fixed, hard. We've probably got no other option. We'll sign up for it. Whereas with the hips and the knees, you know, there's stuff that, you know, actually, you know, you'll do really well with. So do you want to gamble on that last few percent?
I wouldn't have if I had known. I want to make sure your time is okay. Let me check and see what time it is. Thank you. And I'll close with asking, you know, what, if anything, let's check. Oh, it's 3:23, so we better get you going.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you so much. Is there anything I left off, or anything, Jolene, you want me to hit before we leave? I mean.
The only thing I didn't, because I knew I was going to speak to you, was you told me about your levels and things.
Yeah, I mean, they're not terrible, but I had horrible 5 years. And like, if you had 2 pinnacle metal and metal hips out, would you get them taken out?
You've had MRIs, have you, on
Yeah,
both sides?
small pseudotumors on each side, not horrible, not giant.
What's your stem? Do you know what your stem is?
It's SROM.
You got SROMs, have you?
Are they okay?
Now that's good actually,